Margaret Turner had never cared for appearances. She found joy in life's simple pleasures, gardening in her backyard, baking homemade bread, and enjoying quiet evenings with her husband, Richard. While others flaunted designer clothes and luxury accessories, she valued kindness and sincerity above all else. But that day, as she stepped into a luxury car dealership, she felt the weight of judgment pressing down on her. The showroom gleamed with extravagance, polished floors reflected the glow of grand chandeliers, salesmen in crisp suits entertained high-profile clients, and the air smelled of leather and expensive cologne. Margaret, dressed in a simple cotton dress and well-worn sandals, was clearly out of place. Still, she walked confidently toward a sleek black car that caught her eye. Gently running her fingers along its polished surface, she smiled. "This would be perfect for my husband. Could you tell me more about it?" A salesman approached, eyeing her from head to toe. His expression shifted from professional to dismissive within seconds. "Ma'am, this car starts at $85,000, he said with a forced smile. "Perhaps you'd be more interested in our used car section." Margaret's smile faltered, but she remained composed. "I'd still like to know about this one." The salesman let out a sigh, clearly impatient. "We usually reserve our time for serious buyers." Another employee nearby chuckled, adding, "and test drives. We only offer those to people who can afford the car." Margaret felt her heart sink. She had never been treated this way before, as if she were invisible, unworthy of their attention. She took a deep breath, forcing a polite nod, and walked out without another word. The following morning, as Margaret sipped her coffee on the porch, a deep, powerful engine roared in the distance. She looked up to see a sleek Rolls-Royce Phantom pulling up in front of her house. The car's polished surface gleamed in the sunlight, exuding a level of luxury that left her speechless. The door opened, and Richard stepped out, his eyes twinkling with amusement. "You're up early," he teased. Margaret stared at the car in disbelief. "Richard, what is this?" He grinned. "A little surprise. You see, I got an interesting phone call this morning. Apparently, my wife was turned away from a dealership yesterday." Margaret's face turned red. "It's nothing. I just wanted to look at a car for you, but they didn't think I belonged there." Richard's smile faded, his expression turning serious. Before Margaret could say another word, another vehicle pulled up behind the Rolls-Royce. She recognized it instantly, it was from the dealership. A nervous-looking manager stepped out, followed by the same employees who had dismissed her the day before. The salesman from yesterday avoided eye contact, shifting uncomfortably. "Mr. Turner," the manager began, forcing a smile, "we deeply regret the misunderstanding that happened yesterday. We assure you, it was never our intention to." Richard raised a hand, cutting him off. His voice was calm but firm. "No need to apologize. In fact, I should thank you." The staff looked confused. "Sir. If you hadn't treated my wife the way you did, I wouldn't have been reminded of how truly special she is." He gestured toward the Rolls-Royce. "So, I made sure she got something far better." The dealership staff stood frozen in shock as Richard turned to Margaret with a smile. "Go on, sweetheart. Take a seat." Margaret hesitated, then slowly stepped toward the luxurious car. As she sat inside, the soft leather seats embraced her in comfort. She ran her fingers over the smooth dashboard, overwhelmed by the moment. Richard leaned in and said softly, "You never ask for anything. You've stood by me through everything, never caring for riches, only for love. You deserve this and so much more." Margaret's eyes welled up with tears. She looked at Richard and whispered, "I don't need any of this. Just you." He smiled, squeezing her hand. "And that's exactly why you deserve everything." As the Rolls-Royce pulled away, leaving the stunned dealership staff behind, Margaret leaned back and thought, the greatest luxury isn't wealth, it's being loved and respected by the right person.